Mastering data controller responsibilities. Data controllers must master personal data management to avoid catastrophic reputational damage. Which key responsibilities must a data controller undertake to ensure its organization achieves operational excellence in managing personal data, and what measures should it take to guarantee its data processing activities are efficient, effective, and compliant with data protection regulations? To ensure operational excellence in managing personal data, a data controller must undertake several key responsibilities and implement specific measures to guarantee efficient, effective, and compliant data processing activities. Establish a data protection governance framework. The data controller must establish a robust data protection governance framework that outlines roles, responsibilities, and accountabilities for personal data management across the organization. This framework should be regularly reviewed and updated to ensure it remains effective and aligned with changing business needs and data protection regulations. Designated Data Protection Officer, DPO. The data controller must designate a DPO who will oversee and coordinate the implementation of the data protection governance framework. The DPO should have the necessary expertise, resources, and independence to perform their duties effectively. Conduct regular data protection impact assessments, DPAs. The data controller must conduct regular DPAs to identify and mitigate risks associated with personal data processing activities. DPAs should be conducted for high-risk processing activities, such as large-scale profiling, processing sensitive data, or using new technologies. Implement data subject rights procedures. The data controller must establish procedures to ensure data subjects can exercise their rights, including the right to access, rectification, erasure, restriction of processing, objection, and data portability. These procedures should be transparent, easily accessible, and responded to within the required timeframes. Develop and implement data breach response procedures. The data controller must develop and implement data breach response procedures that outline the steps to be taken in the event of a personal data breach. These procedures should include incident detection, containment, notification, and remediation measures. Ensure data protection by design and default. The data controller must ensure that data protection principles are integrated into all personal data processing activities, including product and service design, development, and implementation. This includes implementing appropriate technical and organizational measures to ensure data protection by design and default. Implement data retention and erasure policies. The data controller must implement data retention and erasure policies that outline the procedures for retaining and erasing personal data. These policies should be based on business needs, data protection regulations, and industry best practices. Establish a personal data inventory. The data controller must maintain a personal data inventory that documents all personal data processing activities, including data categories, data flows, data subjects, and data processing purposes. Foster a culture of data protection. The data controller must foster a culture of data protection within the organization by providing regular training and awareness programs for employees, contractors, and third-party vendors. This includes promoting data protection best practices, sharing data protection knowledge, and encouraging a data protection mindset. Ensure compliance with cross-border data transfer requirements. The data controller must ensure that personal data transfers outside the organization's jurisdiction comply with cross-border data transfer requirements, such as the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, and the EU-US Privacy Shield. Establish a third-party vendor management program. The data controller must establish a third-party vendor management program that ensures vendors processing personal data on behalf of the organization comply with data protection regulations and contractual agreements. Monitor and audit data protection compliance. The data controller must regularly monitor and audit data protection compliance to identify areas for improvement, detect non-compliance, and implement corrective actions. This includes conducting internal audits, risk assessments, and compliance monitoring. Maintain accurate and up-to-date records. The data controller must maintain accurate and up-to-date records of personal data processing activities, including records of processing activities, data protection impact assessments, and data breaches. By implementing these measures, a data controller can ensure operational excellence in managing personal data, guaranteeing efficient, effective, and compliant data processing activities that meet the requirements of data protection regulations.